Hello, I'm Mike Gundy, Export Director for Zip Water. Today I would like to share some information with you about who Zip is and what we do. Zip Water have been manufacturing a wide range of on-wall boiling water products at our factory in Bankstown, just outside of Sydney, for more than 70 years. But in addition to the on-wall boiling water products, we also manufacture the exciting new product, the Hydro Tap G4. In addition to being a manufacturer for more than 70 years, Zip exports its wide range of products to more than 70 countries around the world. We have 670 employees based across 4 different locations. Our largest workforce is based at our manufacturing facility in Sydney, but we also have offices in London in the United Kingdom, Auckland, New Zealand, and in Dubai in the Middle East. We are proud to say that some of the world's largest companies, such as Google, Apple, and here in China, the Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, are customers of our on-wall boiling water products and the Hydro Tap. An exciting new development for Zip is that in September of 2017, we became part of the Culligan group of companies, which opens up a whole new world of opportunities for Zip and for Culligan to distribute our wide range of products around the world. Thank you.
In the Culligan office today, we're going to install the Zip Hydro Tap G4 on a font on the bench. We've already had our 35mm hole, our 108mm hole, and our 10mm hole drilled in the bench top. To fit the font correctly, you'll need to fit the spacer to the 35mm hole. Then we'll have the font fitted into the hole as well. For a nice watertight fitting, silicone around the underside of the font before you put it on the bench top. Next, we'll use the 10mm nut and washer to secure the font to the bench top. These go underneath and should be done up hand tight. Before we fit the tap and the 100mm extension, we also need to fit the tap washer to the font. This will actually clip in place, just like that, so that your tap will be nice and straight. This is the 100mm extension, which fits onto the font just like this. We then have our Hydro Tap. First thing you need to do is feed the USB cable through the tap hole and the silicone hoses as well. Now we need to go under the sink to secure the tap. Under the bench, I'm going to feed the silicone hose and the USB cable through the washer, then the star washer. When you fit the star washer, make sure you have one hose and one USB cable in each quadrant. Then we're going to tighten it up with a 10mm nut using the tube spanner that's supplied with the Hydro Tap. I'll do that now, then we'll put the unit in the cupboard. This is a boiling, chilled and sparkling water unit. We need to add some ventilation to the cupboard for that. So we have already fitted an air grill to the bottom of the cupboard. All my water connections and gas connections are on the top of the unit. Before I put it in the cupboard, I also need to plug the power cable in. It is supplied with the unit. Plug that in. And we also have a USB cable. As the Hydro Tap is a fully electronic tap, it needs to communicate with the command centre. Grab the USB cable from the tap and from the unit and plug them together. You should hear it clip, nice and loud. We're going to reuse the cable tie to wrap the USB cable up out of the way in the cupboard. But first things first, we'll put the unit in the cupboard. I've wrapped up the USB cable. Now we can do our water connections on the top of the Hydro Tap. Starting over on the right hand side is our main water supply. This unit is connected to a slimline unit. Slim. Do it up hand tight and then using the shifting spanner, do it another half a turn. Leave the dust covers on these. You do not need them. Next is the boiling water out. Take the little cover off it. The red silicone hose is to be connected to the boiling out. Most important thing to do is to make sure you have good fall from the tap to the unit. No loops, kinks or bends. Make sure you've cut the hose completely to length. Push the hose onto the outlet. Make sure it's pushed on about 15 to 20 millimeters. You do not need a clamp or a cable tie. It'll stay on there nice and tight. Next connection is the vent. This is the clear silicone hose. It is also very important that you cut it to length as well. Make sure there is no kinks or bends or loops from the tap to the unit. It's pushed on. Next two connections are your chilled and sparkling. Remove the little red caps. You will find white and blue hose supplied with the tap. You need to fit the insulation onto those hoses to try and keep the water that's held in there as cool as possible. Also cut that to length. The Y piece needs to be fitted to your tap, and then you can make the connections down on the unit. Very important is the carbonation valve. This is fitted to your sparkling out and is adjustable by using a flat blade screwdriver or an Allen key. You can adjust the flow rate of the sparkling water so it does not spit everywhere. All the hoses have been connected. We now need to connect the CO2 bottle. First things first, I've connected my CO2 out hose to the regulator, and I just need to connect the regulator onto the gas bottle. It is very important this is done up tight, so I'll use my shifting spanner again. To double check any CO2 connections, you should use soapy water on a sponge. Dab it over the connection and then turn the gas on. If bubbles appear, that connection needs to be redone again. If not, it's safe and can be installed. We have one more connection on the top of the hydro tap, which is our CO2 in. That connection is just next to the carbonation valve. All your connections are now done. I need to plug it in. The unit is now ready to calibrate. First screen asks you, which language do you like? Next screen is CO2 purge. Press start, and what will happen is the tap will dispense CO2 out of it. Let it run for at least 10 seconds. Then press stop and go to next. Refit the hose and press next. Calibration. This is where the hydro tap finds boiling point. To start, press calibrate. This process will take between 8 and 12 minutes. Once that's finished, the hydro tap is then ready to use. For any further technical information or installation requirements, please contact Culligan or your Culligan distributor.
Hello, I'm Mike Gundy, Export Director for Zip Water. It's my absolute pleasure this afternoon to introduce to you the Hydro Tap G4. This, the most world's advanced drinking water appliance, can provide you with instant boiling, instant chilled and instant sparkling water at the simple push of a button. That water also is processed through our micro-purity filtration system, which uses a 0.2 micron filter to make sure the water you drink is as pure as it can possibly be. The Hydro Tap G4, as you see behind me, is in the classic design, but it also comes available in the Arc, the Cube and the Elite. And each of those taps is available in a wide range of colours to suit your needs and the colour design of wherever you decide to put the Hydro Tap. The Hydro Tap is an appliance with a computer brain below the sink. The brain decides how much energy to use to keep the water at the temperature you desire, but at the same time controlling to make sure that energy is not being wasted. The Hydro Tap is an easy to use appliance. At the push of a button you can achieve the water you want. Nice, fresh, chilled water.